Hello. Welcome to Math 109, Calculus 1, this summer, 2024, here at Cal Poly Humboldt. I'm Dr. Tyler Evans, and in this video, I'm going to kind of walk you around the course Canvas page, acclimate you to where you can find the relevant information that you're going to need, and also go over the course syllabus and kind of the course logistics. I hope this video won't get too long. I'm going to try to keep it to about 15 minutes, but there's a lot of important information I want to share with you. If you haven't ever used Canvas before, I would highly recommend you check out this student guide link that's right here on the top of the page. There's also a link to the introduction video where I kind of introduce you to myself a little bit. And then, well, this video is linked right here, but you're already watching it. All right, so the Canvas page has a pretty simple, lightweight feel to it. I've got a navigation panel set up on the left here for you. Also, some stuff down the middle. If you're using this on a tablet or a phone, it should render kind of well on there. And on the right-hand side is kind of a list of the to-do items, the assignments that are coming up. Um, Maybe let's walk through the course syllabus first because it will kind of mention things about these, learning objectives, video lectures, and so on, the section assignments, how to get a hold of me on Zoom, and so on. So let's go through the syllabus and then we'll kind of come back here and check out the course and navigation itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click the syllabus link. The very top of the syllabus is kind of the course registration information. You're already registered for the course, my name, my email address. You can message me in Canvas, but it's certainly better to message me via email. I monitor my email kind of more closely, and so the return time will be shorter if you're writing me emails. But you can use the Canvas messaging system to get a hold of me as well. It'll just sort of slow down the communication a little bit. Um, I've got my office phone number here, although this summer I won't be in my office very much physically. So it's email is a better way to get a hold of me. Our course is going to meet fully asynchronous online from May 28th to June 28th. So it's 5 weeks long, but there are no fixed meeting times. So you choose the time that you're going to want to work on this course. As I said in the introduction video, if you've already watched it, we're condensing a 15-week long calculus course into 5 weeks. So I did a little bit of math. In a 15-week setting, we would meet together 4 times a week. So that would be 60 hours for we'd meet together 4 times a week for an hour. That's 60 hours. Typically, students work 2 hours outside of class for every hour inside of class. So that would be 8 more hours a week times 15 weeks. That's 120 hours. 120 and 60 is 180. So during the 15-week semester, the typical amount of time somebody's putting into a course like this is 180 hours. We're doing that in 5 weeks. So if you pencil that out, that comes out to 36 hours a week. 36 times 5 is 180. So if you're spreading that over, 5 days, that's a little more than 7 hours a day. If you're spreading it over 7 days, it's about 5 hours a day. So, but you want to kind of mentally be preparing that, this is a full-time job for the next 5 weeks. It takes a lot of time, and that might be kind of a negative or a downside, but the upside is that after 5 weeks, you're done with the calculus course, and you've got the rest of the summer to either take other courses or do what you're going to do. Let's see. So yeah, the course mode and description, I've already said it's fully online, asynchronous. What is calculus? Well, it's the study of rates of change. Most scientists, no matter what kind of science you're in, you're watching something change, collecting data about it, and you want to predict it. So calculus is the mathematical language that we use to perform those tasks. We study carefully the rates of change and how to take ideas about how things are changing and predict them. If you look in the course catalog with the kind of technical terms for what we'll study in this first semester course are limits, continuity, derivatives, and integrals. I'll try to make it interesting and give applications to physical and biological sciences. And this is the prerequisite course for Calculus 2 if your major requires more than one calculus class. Um, I've got a series of lecture videos. I made the videos myself, so they're linked from the Canvas page. I'll show you where the links are. They're also on YouTube, and you can just link to the entire playlist if you want to. Uh, um, they're not the most high-tech videos in terms of production quality, but I do think pedagogically, that is math content-wise, I do think that they're good videos, and I hope you'll watch them all. You can watch them, stop and start, refer back to them, and so on as you're doing your homework. There's no required text for the course, but I have two recommended texts. The first one is this OpenStax Calculus. That's the course, the book that we use in the regular semesters, fall and spring, in all three calculus classes, Math 109, 110, and 210. It's a fully online kind of web navigable text that's available at no cost. So we use it in the entire sequence. I'll certainly hope that you'll be checking it out as we go. In fact, I'm just noticing in the syllabus here that I don't have the text linked. I'll show you where it is linked, but I'll fix that when this video is over. The second optional text is Calculus Early Transcendentals 8th edition by Stewart. This text is also possible to find online. My lecture videos are kind of structured to it, so the section numbers and the kind of progression of the topics. The progression of the topics is the same in both books, but the section numbering itself is geared to this Stewart course. And I also have some recommended problems that you should do on paper with paper and pencil. Those problems come out of the Stewart text. You can find that online. I would just Google it. It's not web navigable. You'll find PDF versions of it online. If you have any trouble finding a PDF version of that online, just let me know and I can help you out. So we can, the textbook information page, maybe I can navigate to it real quick here. There I do have the Strang text linked. I'll link it from the syllabus as well. And it gives you some more information about the Stewart text there. Okay, this is an online course, so what are you going to need? Well, you're going to need a computer with a reliable internet connection, of course. You're going to do your homework via Canvas on MyOpenMath. You don't need to create another account for MyOpenMath. You just access it straight through Canvas, and it'll populate your Canvas gradebook, so everything is updated in real time. You're going to need to watch the YouTube videos, and possibly you might have to join me on Zoom. So basically you need a computer with a camera and a microphone and a good internet connection so that you can use things like YouTube, Canvas, Zoom. The technical tools page gives you some apps you can look at if you needed to scan some PDF, if you wanted to send me some work electronically. Um, Calculators, we're going to use Desmos a lot and also Google Sheets, some spreadsheets to perform some of the numerical calculations. I've got some videos on how to use those tools. If you don't already know Desmos, I'm hoping one of the things that you'll come out of this course with is becoming kind of an expert at it. It's a fantastic tool. It's much more robust than a scientific calculator and easier to use. Let's see, this course, satisfying it will complete your lower division area BGE, your math requirement. So if you don't already have your math GE done, this course will require that, or satisfy it rather. And I'm sorry I'm talking so fast. I'm just trying to make this video short. Hopefully you can put me on 3/4 speed if I'm going too quickly. Uh, I'll show you what I mean about these assignments, but using the textbooks, I highly encourage you to read in either book. The section names are the same. Kind of read through the material before you watch the video just to get an idea of what it's about. You can look at some worked out examples in those books. And then I also have some suggested problems. I'll show you where they are out of the Stewart book that you can do in addition to the online problems you're going to submit for credit. So the suggested problems are not mandatory, but they are definitely the best way to prepare to do these section assignments, which will make up part of your course grade. Uh, I already mentioned the course is fast. It moves at a fast pace. So the upside is it's over in 5 weeks, but because of that, you have to be prepared to work, like I said, about 36 hours a week for 5 weeks. Uh, Last summer, I haven't got the information about it yet, but last summer the HSU Tutoring Center was open and available for free tutoring online, and I'm hoping the same will be this summer. But as I'm making this video, I don't have that information yet, so I will post that when I get it. So how am I going to assess you and assign a grade? Well, there's really just sort of two graded components. We'll look when we surf around the Canvas page of where you access these things, but one of them is called section assignments. Those are the assignments that you're going to be preparing and submitting through Canvas using MyOpenMath in the background. There are 10 of them. In addition to kind of a preliminary assignment and a get to know yourself assignment. So that's going to be the assignment portion of the course. They're going to have due dates that I kind of stagger about every week. You know, there's 10 section assignments, so you can expect to have about 2 of them per week on average. In the event that you can't make the due date, I am giving you 5, not 10, but 5 late passes. those late passes can extend the deadline by 24 hours. So if something comes up and you kind of need an escape valve, you weren't able to complete a section assignment on time, 5 of the 10 assignments, you can give yourself 24 extra hours. But please be aware that you have to activate that late pass before the due date of the assignment. So once the due date of the assignment passes, then you can no longer activate that. So it's going to be really important to stay on pace and complete the section assignments in each week as we go. So I'm going to say it one more time. It is not the design of this course to wait until the very end and try to do all 10 section assignments. First of all, the due dates will be gone and you won't be able to do that. And it's also an impossible way to learn the material. It's 5 weeks is about as minimal as we can get, and you need to be working kind of uniformly over those 5 weeks. The second graded component is going to be a final exam. It's going to be online. It'll be open book, open note through the My Open Math assignment. Unlike the section assignments where you can work on them, close it, come back, work on it, close it, come back, as long as you complete your work by the due date, the final exam, when you start it, it'll be available all day on June 28th. So it'll become available at 8 o'clock in the morning and it will close at 11:59 the same day. But once you open the assignment, it's going to start a timer and you have 2 hours to complete it. Okay. So that's different than the section assignments. Also different than the section assignments is that you're going to get just 2 attempts to answer each question. In the section assignments, if you miss a question, you can attempt it again with no penalty. On the final exam, you'll get just 2 attempts, and the second attempt will be penalized 50%. So I'm trying to incentivize you to study up for the final and take it like it was an in-class on-paper exam. All right. How I'll calculate your grade, the section assignments together with the introduce yourself and the preliminary assignment will make up 70% of your grade. The final exam is 30%, and the table is showing you how I'll assign letter grades. The highlighted row in the table is indicating the C minus cutoff, 70%, and a C minus is the minimum required grade to pass a mathematics course for prerequisite purposes. So if your plan is to take Math 110, you need to pass this course with a C minus or better. Okay, the rest of the syllabus I'm going to let you check out. I've got the learning outcomes. There are course learning outcomes, mathematics program learning outcomes, and university learning outcomes. And in addition to a lot of important information about university resources and policies. So there's resources for students requiring some special circumstances, policies about adding and dropping the course, academic honesty. We're an asynchronous course, so I don't think disruptive behavior and attendance are relative, but I put the policy there anyway. And then finally, I hope you'll check out, I wrote some advice. I've tried to say it as I'm speaking really quickly through this video that's now getting a little bit long, but just in a nutshell, the advice is again, work on this class every day. Don't procrastinate the work. Make a schedule at the beginning where you're blocking out, you know, 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours in the afternoon, and take a break and go outside and do something fun in between. But you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time to watch these videos, practice these problems out of the book, practice the problems on the My Open Math through Canvas. All right. So my expectation is that you're going to do that. You're motivated to learn this material. You're going to reach out to me when you want some help. I hope to get to know you and meet you on Zoom in person. But that's kind of my general advice is don't try to wait until the end and do all of this, and also don't try to kind of ignore it. If you don't have the time to dedicate those 36 hours a week to this course, maybe it's a better idea to not take the course this summer. So it's a really great format to get the course over in a short amount of time, but you got to dedicate the time to it. Okay, now let's go back to the main page. We've kind of gone over the syllabus. You can slow this video down and watch it or just surf through it yourself. But let me show you where you kind of find this stuff. So here on the navigation page in the modules tab, or just here in the main page, the learning objective and video lectures, here's the kind of main organization of the course. So I've organized it by modules. There's one module for each week. Here sorry about the scrolling. You're looking at the week 1, which is May 28th to June 2nd. So I've kind of listed out by section, all right? And in each one of these sections, these are the names and numbers from the Stewart book. I've got a learning objective. Let's go ahead and look at the tangent and velocity problem. So I'll tell you kind of what are you supposed to get out of this section? Well, you're supposed to understand how limits arise in these two problems and how to make a table of values. And then you can use the navigation to move on. There's a video. So this is linked to my YouTube channel. You can save the playlist or just access them all from here. So this video, most of them, I think the shorter ones are about 15 minutes, longer ones might be closer to 40. All right, so it gives you a lecture on that topic. And then here I've got some suggested problems. These are out of the Stewart book, and I've kind of put them in what I call three tiers. So the first tier is just checking the basic skills. All right. So you want to probably be practicing those at least on paper in a notebook. You're not giving it to me, but those problems are supposed to get you ready to do the section assignments. All right. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, I've picked some problems from tier two, some extra challenge. If you're super interested in the material, you can try these tier three problems. So that's kind of how each one goes, is that we'll move on to 2-2. I've got the learning objectives. I won't read them out loud here to keep the video shorter. But then after the learning objectives, you watch the lecture video. Then this one has more than one video. Maybe I'll go back to the modules because that happens sometimes. So in section 2.2, I've cut the video. I've got how to use Desmos to investigate limits, how to use a spreadsheet to investigate limits. Those follow the video lecture. And I've also got a video about one-sided limits. All right. So to keep them shorter, I've made multiple ones. And then it ends again with these suggested problems. Tier one, checking the basics. Tier two, an extra challenge. Tier three, if you're really into it and you want to think about something that's sort of above and beyond. All right. In terms of the MyOpen math problems and the exam problems, they'll all be like tier one. All right. So I'm only going to be assessing you on kind of what I think of as the basic skills. Okay. So that's the modules. You can see yeah, that's week by week. So if I scroll down here to find, here's week 2, June 5th. So we're already in chapter 3, but that's how the structure works. Okay. If I go back to the home page, so that's what's in learning objectives. The section assignments, that's 70% of your grade. You can access them from right here. I'll fix that. That's a little bit embarrassing, but I don't want to make this video again. So let me just show you where that was supposed to go. That was supposed to show you these things. There's a formatting quiz to make sure you can use the MyOpen Math. Let's check it out. If I open that formatting quiz, I was in here before. This is what the MyOpen Math looks like. And it's just kind of a real quick tutorial of like, well, how do I enter an exponent 6 squared? So you do it with the caret key. You can divide things. You can type SQRT to make a square root and so on. So this thing just kind of walks you through the format. I'm going to go ahead and leave it and go back to our assignments. So that's the formatting quiz. There's a little assignment that I want you to do right away to introduce yourself to me. I'd kind of like to get to know you a little bit in this online format. And then the 10 section assignments. So I've listed what sections they cover in that Stewart book. Each one of them has a opening date and a due date. And again, you can use a 24-hour late pass if you use it before that due date. So they're sort of staggered out over the 5 weeks of the course. And then the last assignment will be the final exam. This preliminary material pre-calculus review assignment is open the entire time. So it opens on May 28th and closes on June 28th. And so if you're feeling like, oh, there's some trigonometry that I need to review, you can go in this assignment and check it out. You should complete the assignment. You can complete it all at the beginning if you want to, but it's kind of supposed to be there to help you have some access to some review material. Okay. This video is getting kind of long, so you know where to get the daily routine, the lecture videos, the learning objectives, and the suggested book problems. You know where to get the assignments that you're going to do on MyOpen Math. This to-do list over here will be populated all the time in addition to the course calendar. So you should always be aware of what's due when. Basically, the due dates are always the assignments for a week are due on the Sunday of that week at 11:59 p.m. The exception being the last week because the course ends on a Friday. Everything will be due on that Friday. If you want to get a hold of me, you can write me an email and ask me to meet on Zoom. I'm not fixing hours to be at the computer, but rather you just have to via email give me a little bit of a heads up. If it's in the morning or early afternoon, usually an hour or so advance would work. But you can also give me more notice. And then when we do meet on Zoom, this is where you're going to access the link. Okay, so your computer should have the Zoom app on it. And by appointment, I'm happy to meet with you on Zoom. And then I really hope we will because it'll be fun to get to know you a little bit. Um, Got some tutoring resource information. However, sorry, again, I made this video a little bit early. This is from last summer, so I'm going to be updating this for summer 2024. But once I get it updated, I'll put that on there. So that's now my second or third embarrassing moment in this video. I've got some information about the text. We looked at this earlier. So again, the OpenStax text I've just got linked here. It's the text you'll be using in the rest of the calculus sequence if you'll take it. So I would definitely get familiar with that. And then the Stewart text where my recommended tier one problems come from. It's not a free text, but you can acquire it for little to no cost as a PDF on the internet. If you're having any trouble finding it, let me know. And then the final section here is technical tools. So just a kind of a list about where to find Desmos, where to find Google Sheets, and so on, how to scan PDFs. So I'll let you kind of peruse that. And then finally, I've got a list of external resources, some Khan Academy links mainly that review topics from trigonometry, algebra, some calculus. If you find something super cool out there, let me know. I always like this list to grow. The last thing I will say before ending this rather long video now is that I will make announcements on Canvas, so you might want to set your notifications to ping you when I do that, so that that's the easiest way for me to broadcast a message to the entire class. And then there's also a discussion forum which you can post things, so with your classmates, if you're working on something, feel free to post something here. I'll monitor the discussion board. Your classmates will hopefully monitor it, and it's a way for us just to have a place to exchange ideas because we're not all physically going to be in the same place at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video there. Please feel free to, have a careful look, read through the syllabus, navigate around the Canvas page, and if you find any broken links or anything wonky, just let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to try to answer them. All right. So having said that, we're going to end it there. Thanks a lot.